In June, a group of Chinese and Malaysian descendants of those who fought against the Japanese in World War II took a journey along the old Burma Road, now known as the Yunnan-Myanmar Road, retracing their ancestors' wartime path. They trekked along the winding mountain path, pausing before Memorial Hall photographs and laying flowers in solemn tribute at a monument. Why retrace this road? What stories does this path hold? In the autumn of 1939, as coastal ports fell one after another, China's maritime connections with the outside world were completely severed. At this critical moment of national survival, a rugged highway, the Yunnan-Myanmar Road, became the sole transportation route for wartime supplies. Known as the lifeline of the War of Resistance, the Yunnan-Myanmar Road was also dubbed the Road of Death due to the treacherous terrain of its 24-turn stretch, frequent Japanese bombings, and rampant tropical diseases. The road was in urgent need of drivers and mechanics, but there was no time for temporary training. At this critical moment, patriotic overseas Chinese leader Tan Kah-kee stepped forward. In 1939, he called on young Chinese from Southeast Asia to return home and support the war effort. This heartfelt call to serve their homeland sparked an electrifying response. Within months, over 3,000 young overseas Chinese rallied, streaming in from across Southeast Asia. Why would these youths leave their privileged lives for such danger?
They believed that without a nation, there would be no home. That's why during the War of Resistance against Japanese aggression, overseas Chinese contributed in every way they could, some with money, others with labor. And those who worked on the Yunnan-Myanmar Road, transporting military supplies, as they put it themselves, they were serving their country with utmost loyalty.
These young people's choice to return stemmed from Tan Kah-kee's influence. The Southeast Asian Chinese leader not only called for support, but embodied patriotism himself. Living simply, yet giving everything to wartime education, his selfless spirit deeply inspired the youth. Integrity in conduct, perseverance in action. This was the principle that Tan Kah-kee lived by throughout his life. He championed this philosophy across Southeast Asia, leaving a lasting legacy among the overseas Chinese community. And when the nation faced peril, the spirit of integrity and perseverance crystallized into a collective call to action, embodied by the mass enlistment of the Nanyang volunteer mechanics in service of the homeland. Among the volunteers was Jiang Yin-sheng from India. At 13, he had a stand to see over the dashboard, yet became one of the road's miracle survivors.
Jiang Yin-sheng was the youngest of the group. Back when he first began driving, he struggled so much that he sometimes had to drive standing up.
Jiang Yin-sheng and over 3,000 overseas Chinese youth risked their lives on the road, transporting hundreds of thousands of tons of wartime supplies to the front lines. From 1939 to 1942, the Nanyang Volunteers Group transported 500,000 tons of military supplies, more than 15,000 auto vehicles, and plenty of civilian supplies through the Road of Death. Every kilometer blood sacrifice, with over 1,000 mechanics perished along this artery. One life extinguished per kilometer paved. Miraculously, Jiang Yin-sheng survived the war. In recognition of his bravery, he was awarded a commemorative medal for his role in the Chinese People's War of Resistance against Japanese aggression. This medal stands not just as a personal honor, but as an eternal testament to the heroic sacrifices of all Nanyang volunteer mechanics.
When this was published in 2022, he was still with us. He also inscribed the dedication, selfless devotion, no regrets, loyal heart, serving the motherland. This was a kind of spiritual strength, one that played a vital role during the war of resistance against Japanese aggression.
To commemorate the heroic and moving history of the Nanyang volunteer drivers and mechanics during the War of Resistance, an increasing number of descendants have embarked on journeys along the Burma Road. This June, Malaysian Chinese communities organized the Retracing the Yunnan-Myanmar Road Journey memorial event. 18 young ethnic Chinese representatives traveled from Malaysia to Yunnan, walking in their forebears' footsteps along the historic route. Through route retracing, memorial visits, they resurrected this fading wartime legacy.
After seeing those memorials, I was deeply moved, even shocked. What we can learn from them is their fearless spirit, their unwavering resolve to act once they set their minds to something. They had the courage to sacrifice everything to defend their country.
These young people also posted the photos they took during the event on social media to share this piece of history with more people. In their captions, they wrote, "Remembering history is the way to better safeguard peace." The bullet holes on the hillside and the ruins of broken walls are evidence left by war, and they also deepen our understanding of the word peace. One netizen commented, "Great heroes and the inheritors of culture."
This expedition has done more than expanding my knowledge of World War II. It has made me prouder than ever to be a Malaysian Chinese and a Malaysian. Our ancestors gave everything during the war, and the freedom we cherish today owes so much to their devotion. May this story reach countless more hearts.
The organizer, Yung Pak Yao, has guided multiple historical pilgrimages along this route. He expressed his hope that younger generations could experience the patriotic spirit of the Nanyang volunteer drivers and mechanics and pass down this legacy across time and space.
That's why I try to figure out, should we get the young generation or the youth from the 6th Association to join us? And I want them to try to have the feel of it, how difficult during 1939 to 1941. All the Nanyang in probably is Southeast Asia. Overseas Chinese is Huaqiao. For those people to have a feel and try to understand why should they do that.
This August, the Kwanton Cemetery held a major memorial ceremony while unveiling the newly completed Nanyang Chinese Mechanics Peace Memorial Park and Museum within its grounds. The memorial complex has preserved the original historical monument intact, with perimeter walls featuring winding paths inspired by the Yunnan-Myanmar Road's treacherous mountain routes.
On top of that, because we need to do a big announcement to the world and telling the world, we are putting on the 3,200 over the volunteers' name on top of the wall. I think they have been doing it quietly. Nobody knows them. Nobody aware of what are they doing, even though they are not carrying all the weapons and all these things go up to the battle war field. And I think for the young, at least they know, hey, this is my grandfather. My grandfather's name is, we are doing it for all those little people when they contributed at that time.
The heartfelt farewells carried by those leaving their Nanyang homes were preserved in their era's most genuine form. Farewell, Nanyang. The smoke of war has long faded, but Mr. Tankaki's unwavering patriotism and the Nanyang volunteers' bravery and dedication remain etched into the soul of this land as a timeless legacy. From Malaysian memorials to Xiamen's Tankaki Museum, this transoceanic legacy continues inspiring. We look to the past to shape the future. the farewells of Nanyang, the call of Xiamen, and the tracks left on the Yunnan-Myanmar Road are all woven into a shared memory that still echoes in the ties of the strait today.